guys, Dr. Rob Barrington here with some more nutrition advice. I've talked a lot about iron. Iron is the most common nutritional deficiency in the world. Many people, both in developing nations and in the Western nations that are fully developed, many people are in both of those places are deficient in iron, and many people suffer from iron deficient anemia. I've talked a lot about how to improve your iron status. I'm a big believer in consuming red meat at least once a week in order to be able to take in enough iron. Now, I understand that vegetarians and some people who don't have a lot of money may not have access or the ability to consume red meat, and therefore they may want to get iron from supplements. I wanted to talk about something a little bit different in this video, because what happens if you think there is enough iron in your diet but you want to take a multivitamin. If you look at most multivitamins that are available in shops, most of them contain about 14 milligrams of iron, which is the UK recommended amount of iron to have per day. Now that's acceptable if you require iron. But perhaps you're a female athlete and you have a higher requirement for iron. Perhaps you're a vegetarian and you're not consuming red meat. The iron present in a multivitamin is possibly useful to you. I would suggest that most men that consume red meat don't actually need that iron. That iron can actually be detrimental if you consume too much of it, particularly when it's in a supplement, because it can affect the absorption of other minerals within the supplement. And if you have too much iron in your diet, there is some evidence that it can actually act as a pro-oxidant. So too much iron, like all nutrients, too much is not really a good idea, and some people might not want to have iron in their supplements. So what I would suggest to those people is to look for a multivitamin that is iron free. Now, this is quite a hard task. There aren't many. I have looked, and there aren't many multivitamins that come, high potency ones that come without iron. Solgar do one. Now, I'm recommending a product here, but I make no money from products. I'm not really the sort of person that recommends products in order to be able to increase their sales. I'm simply showing this for information purposes. This is the multivitamin that I take because I've chosen to take one without iron, and I'm sharing this information to others in order that they may be able to make the same choice if they want. I make no money from Solgar, and I don't sell vitamins, and I want to make that absolutely clear. This is my Solgar multivitamin. It's a VM75 multivitamin. Now, this multivitamin is available from Solgar, and it comes in two forms, so you have to be careful which one you order if you're interested in this. There is one with iron in it, and there is one without iron in it. The reason I chose one without iron is the fact that the reasons I've already given. I consume red meat. I try and have red meat at least once a week. I also consume fish, and I try and have that a number of times a week, and therefore I do get iron in my diet. I feel that if there's iron in my multivitamin as well, that there is too much iron in my diet as a whole, and the iron in the multivitamin is very good at inhibiting the absorbance of some of the other minerals from the multivitamin. So for my purposes, a multivitamin without iron I think is a better way to go. And I had a look and I researched this for a long period of time to try and find high strength multivitamins that didn't contain iron, and most of them do. And I came across this Solgar VM75 multivitamin without iron, and it suited my purposes perfectly, and that's the multivitamin that I currently use. There are possibly other products out there. I didn't really find any that were of high potency. There are some multivitamins that you could say didn't contain iron, but really I was looking just at the high potency ones. If you know of any others that don't contain iron, that would be very useful if you could put them in the comments box below this video, and that will help out other people that are in a similar situation. So generally, most people who take a multivitamin, high potency multivitamin, most people would possibly want iron in their multivitamin, particularly a female athlete who have very high requirements, or higher requirements for iron than, for example, for your normal average man that has a slightly lower requirement for iron, especially if they're eating red meat. Have a look at the multivitamin that you're taking, see if it contains iron, see if that amount of iron with the red meat you're taking is perhaps overload. And if you do feel that perhaps you don't need the iron in your multivitamin, perhaps you accept that iron is going to decrease the absorption of some of the other divalent cations in that multivitamin, it might be a good idea to have a think and have a research and have a read around multivitamins that don't contain iron. So I hope that was useful. Information purposes only. I don't make any money from Solgar, but if you're interested in a multivitamin, a high potency multivitamin that doesn't contain iron, I do recommend the Solgar VM75 multivitamin. It is fairly reasonable. It's a 1 tablet per day. It's a fairly reasonable cost, and it's the multivitamin that I'm currently taking. So I hope that was interesting. If you've got any comments on this video, please leave them in the comments box below. If you've got any questions, please put your questions in the comments box below as well. I will always try to answer the questions as soon as I can. I hope that was a reasonably interesting video for you. I will see you next week for another video, and in the meantime, take care.